Well, yeah, so that happened. This is my post-race analysis of the Daytona 500 qualifying and the Clash today. For qualifying, plain and simple, Hendrick engines did have the faster cars as I expected. My pick, Alex Bowman, though, on my Fantasy Live app, was second, unfortunately. Surprisingly, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. got the pole for the Daytona 500, and I don't think anybody expected that. And I'm not just saying that because I didn't. I mean, how many people had Ricky Stenhouse Jr. winning the pole? Especially now that he's not even with Roush Fenway Racing, he's with Doherty, JT Doherty Racing. So kudos to him, congratulations to him, and that was pretty much all I got to say about that. Now we go to the Clash. My prediction in the preseason was Joey Logano. He had a shot. We went through the entire race. A lot of strategy was being played out. Pretty much the second segment of the race in those last 50 laps, and it was fun to kind of curiously see if the Chevrolets were going to make it on field in the end when they were trying to save. And then on top of that, the Fords and Toyotas ran them down, making them not able to save fuel. So then they were just forced to race for the win from that point on. Heck was breaking loose pretty much the last 12 to 13 laps after they caught him. And we had the first big one. Well, it wasn't really a big one. Only 3 drivers were involved in the wreck. It was a 3-wide battle. It was Joey Logano on the top. Kyle Busch was lined up right behind him, tried to go 3 wide up the middle in between him and Hamlin. He did have the room to go there, but Logano went down to try and block him. At the same time, Busch was trying to, make the tight maneuver to get through. It was a racing accident. The race for the win with 9 to go. They got in a wreck. Hard hit into the car that was right behind everything on the outside. Brad Keselowski, they got involved. So a lot of heavy hitters that were looking like they were good contenders for the win out of the race. Hamlin survived to the inside. I don't know how Ryan Blaney and Jimmy Johnson both got on the brakes quick enough to miss everybody to the inside. It's just surprising that only 3 drivers were involved out of the 18 in the field. So we still had 15 drivers pretty much left in the race. And then on the following restart with, I believe there was 3 laps to go. Yep, 3 laps to go on the restart. Ryan Newman was second in line on the outside. William Byron was third in line on the outside. They both spun their tires simultaneously, and then basically they both lost control, slamming into the inside cars. Again, Blaney somehow got hit so square from the 6-car Newman on the outside, he was able to keep it going. So for my sake, I was like, oh my goodness, I don't know how that happened. Yeah, he got on through, but a lot of cars were torn up after that. We only had probably about 8-9 cars or so after that. And if you thought that was bad, then we had another wreck with pretty much every driver that has survived throughout the course of the race without being involved in an accident got involved in the last wreck. It was Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott. They were pushing each other. Elliott pushed Larson out in front. This was, by the way, our first overtime. And I missed. My bad. I missed one. It was first overtime. Denny Hamlin was getting pushed by Chase Elliott down the back straightaway. And this was when we had probably about 12 cars or so. And Hamlin had picked up just a little bit of damage from that first incident with Kyle Busch, Joey Logano, and them guys. How Denny Hamlin missed it to the inside. Well, he got a little contact on his right rear, probably fender or tire, and he cut the tire down like halfway down the back straightaway, and he was getting real loose. And all of a sudden, when he was getting loose, I thought it was because Chase Elliott was pushing him, but Elliott had already stopped pushing him at that point. Somehow he was, with the flat right rear tire, able to drive the car squarely. The car was all over the place. He got into the middle of 3 and 4 before he finally lost control, and that caused the giant wreck, which brought us down to about 8-9 cars or so. And then in second overtime, Chase Elliott pushed Larson out to the front, tried to make a move in the middle of turns 3 and 4. Basically a lot similar to how the crash between Joey Logano and Kyle Busch ended up happening on the first caution of the race. So they got involved in the wreck. again, I mean, they're going for the win. I don't fault these guys for trying to block late in the race like that, going for the win. But when it was happening over and over again, it was getting too, like, almost too predictable. Like, okay, there's going to be a wreck here. And you could say that Daytona and Talladega can be predictable towards the end of a race, especially over the last decade or so, where it's like, yeah, there's going to be a big wreck. But I feel like it's more so now with this package. Now, this package is a lot better than the last couple packages we've had with restrictor plate racing. But I think the flaws of this package were shown today, that you can't make aggressive blocks with this package. And I think we saw that in the Talladega race in the fall last year, as well as the there was only one accident in the July race, really, that was huge. And we got a caution after that, or got the rain after that, Justin Haley one. But I think you're starting to see that happening in the Talladega race, and there was a lot more on the line with there being playoff implications, with the race being in the playoffs. But then with this, I mean, there's nothing to lose, so I get that's why everybody was going at it. There is a way to race with this package that isn't single file all the way around the track. That's what we saw in the spring Talladega race and most of the July race, Daytona. You can race aggressively, but the minute you throw a super late block, it's not worth it at that point. It just really is not worth it. You get caught up in a wreck, and you might even be able to block a run off the first time because it looks like everybody's fine. You can get hit square in the bumper, and you're fine. Even in the middle of the corner, you can get hit square, and you're fine. But the minute you throw that second block, when they try to make almost like a pump fake kind of move, go high, go low, or go low, go high, the second move is also trying to be blocked off, and it's just not enough. You can't do it. It's just going to be a huge wreck. Nobody's lifting at that point. I don't blame them for not lifting, but just too aggressive with the blocks. And I get going for the win. And I hate to say it, I don't think you're going to see too much of this in the dual races on Thursday, or even in the Trucks and Xfinity, because it's a little different with the restrictor plates. It's going to race like an old school, restrictor plate race. But with the Daytona 500, I can see it being the same thing. I can see it being a clean race all the way throughout, maybe, a couple sporadic cautions here and there. But I think for the most part, you're going to see a lot of wrecks towards the end of the race, unfortunately, if drivers try to make double block moves like we saw in the Clash today. And I get there was nothing to lose, so hopefully that doesn't move on. So yeah, after that Larson-Chase Elliott crash, they went to a third overtime where seemingly I thought Austin Dillon was going to have the car and was just going to run away with it. He was the only car left in the race that had no signs of damage. But somehow he didn't. Him and Newman didn't really team up together as well. Surprisingly, Kyle Larson actually got out to the lead, but then his damage, unfortunately, when he got too far out in front, didn't have any more drafting partners. He went to the back, and they came to the white flag. It looked like it was going to be settled between Austin Dillon and Ryan Newman. They were battling with each other too much when coming from behind all the way down the back straightaway. It was Denny Hamlin pushing Eric Jones to the victory. Eric Jones had been in a couple wrecks throughout the day. How did he win? Because he somehow stayed on the lead lap. He had his front bumper caved in, and Denny Hamlin just flat out pushed him to the win. Why Denny Hamlin pushed him to the win? Because Hamlin was involved when he blew that right rear tire. He had stayed on pit road to repair his damage because there was no caution or no repair clock with this not being a points race. So there's no repair clock. He stayed to get the car repaired to at least get back out on the track. He was 2 laps down. So even though he finished, I believe, like 5th or 6th in this race, he was just intent, okay, I'm going to push my teammate to the win because he's on the lead lap and I'm not. I can't win this race. So that was actually pretty cool of Hamlin. It was kind of funny. I mean, everybody's laughing about it at Joe Gibbs in the post race afterwards. But, I mean, hey, it's kind of cool. And that's where team comes into NASCAR's play with teammates in that situation. I thought that was kind of cool. Eric Jones, it kind of, the way his car looked reminded me of Terry Labonte's car, the way his looked after Dale Earnhardt spun him coming across the checker at Bristol back in the 90s. So that's all I got to say for this one. So my preseason prediction, Logano had a chance, got wrecked out. my actual pick earlier today, Denny Hamlin, he had a chance, got wrecked out. So both of them are going to be, I think, possible threats and contenders in the 500 next week. We'll have to see how Speed Weeks rolls on. We still got the 2 dual races coming up. That's my thoughts, my analysis on the Clash in the Daytona 500 qualifying. For more content on the daily here for NASCAR, subscribe to this channel. Hit the like button if you enjoyed my thoughts. What were your thoughts down in the comment section below? And I will see you guys in the next video.